Hello, Milwaukee Bucks fans. Welcome back to Bucks Latest, presented by Fan Arch. I'm your host, Dean Simon. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, turning on those post notifications to stay up to date and in the know with all the latest Milwaukee Bucks updates. It's here. It's draft day. The 2025 NBA draft is set to tip off, I think, at about 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock tonight Eastern Time. And the Milwaukee Bucks have an interesting decision to make with the number 47 overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. So I decided that this episode today is going to be dedicated solely to the draft, who the Bucks may select, my predictions for who they'll select, and giving you a couple of candidates for each positional group. Two guys that I think they may select in this draft. So we're just going to get right into things. First of all, my first suggestion, my first candidate for the Bucks to take with the 47th overall pick is Gonzaga's Ryan Nembhard. He's 6 foot tall, 180 pounds. He averaged this past season for Gonzaga 10.5 points, 9.8 assists, 3 rebounds, 1.7 steals, shot 44.6% from the field and 40.4% from three-point range. He led all of Division I college basketball in assists, and he led his conference in steals. He's just incredibly versatile. Obviously, he looks and plays so much like his brother, even though he's about 4 inches shorter than Andrew on the Pacers. He's a controlled offensive threat. He has so much poise, and he plays like a veteran. He's a veteran trapped inside a young guy's body, and he has incredible two-way potential, again, just like his brother, and just amazing intangibles. He knows how to slow things down. It's like the game slows down for him, especially when he's operating in the pick and roll. He has a lot of Chris Paul in him, where he can get past a guy and then get him on his behind, like have him on his hip and kind of like bump him out of the way and keep him behind him in jail. He has so many different amazing qualities and these intangibles that show up both on the offensive and defensive end. I think honestly, a lot of these guys that I have as candidates could be absolute steals if they fall to the Bucks at number 47. And Ryan Nembhard is certainly another one of those guys that he just has so much potential to contribute to an NBA team, and especially with Damian Lillard out for all of or most of next season, Ryan Nembhard could come in and immediately get reps and control the offense alongside a guy like Giannis, get some valuable experience, and coming in as a guy who's more experienced than others, it would be really, really positive for him to get that kind of playing time from the jump, especially the number 47 overall pick. And my second suggestion, though a little bit more unrealistic, it's not as likely that he will fall to number 47 all the way down. He's predicted to go around mid-30s in most drafts. It's Kentucky's Kobe Brea. He's 6'6", 174-pound shooting guard, 11.6 points, 3.2 rebounds. His splits, 47, 43.5, 91.4 this past season for Kentucky. He led his conference in three-point percentage, and he led all of Division I last year in 2023-24 in three-point percentage with a unreal 49.8% three-point percentage. Flat out, he's the best shooter in the draft. And truth be told, I don't know if I see him falling much past the 35th overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. But if he were to, if for some reason he slips down the draft boards, the general managers and front offices of certain teams don't see the potential for him to succeed at the next level, the Bucks need to scoop him up. He's the perfect player to put aside a guy like Giannis, where they've tried to do certain things with Pat Connaughtons of the world, with AJ Greens. Kobe Brea will be that guy, will be that AJ Green type guy, but on an even more heightened level. He's just more polished all around, and he's just flat out one of the best shooters I've ever seen in my life at any level of basketball. Kobe Brea is just that guy, and I am certainly confident that even though he's kind of been locked into the second round, or at least the beginning of the second round, he will have a long and successful NBA career, because you can never have enough shooting, and Kobe Brea brings just that to the table. Now, moving on, we have our wings and power forwards, and the first guy up is Villanova's Eric Dixon. He is a monstrous 6'8", 265 pounds. He averaged 23.3 points, 5.1 rebounds, 1.9 assists, shot 45% from the field, 40.7% from three-point range. He led all of Division I in scoring with that 23.1 points per game this past year, and honestly, he could possibly be the steal of the draft. He's a very, very tall 6'8", and he's insanely strong as a wing, that he can hit threes consistently, and in transition, he's just a bowling ball, both handling the ball and just running on the break. He can also transition into a screen and roll threat, with true back to the basket ability on a whim. He's so versatile, and I just honestly think that regardless of what team he goes to, even if he doesn't fall to the Bucks at 47, he could be the steal of the draft. I am so high on Eric Dixon. He's just an all-around amazing, and I don't want to say generational talent, because we've seen guys that are that big, that strong, and that fast, that can jump that high, be successful at the NBA level. We've seen that archetype of player, but Eric Dixon's following in those same footsteps. Again, my opinion, possibly the steal of the draft regardless of where he lands. And the second guy up is Izan Almansa from the NBL. He's 6'10", 230. He averaged 6.8 points, 3.9 rebounds. He's athletic, he's agile, he's able to run in transition and handle the ball in transition. He has shown flashes of three-point ability. He can knock down the three, but he consistently knocks down middies. He's also a great guy in the dunker spot, just a pretty good rebounder and a good box-out guy in general. But he's great at receiving the ball on a short roll and making decisions. He has like a nice little Isaiah Hartenstein-like push shot, little floater that it has become his signature shot and goes down most of the time. I want to say at least 60 to 65% of the time that shot is going through the rim. So he's definitely got a lot of traits of a guy that can be successful to the next level. It remains to be seen if the Bucks, if they think they've seen enough out of him to warrant a pick at number 47. I think also he could be a guy that ends up going undrafted. Maybe the Bucks sign him to a G League deal with the Wisconsin Herd, and he can develop a little bit more at that G League level, then eventually earn a promotion. So Izan Almansa, definitely someone to monitor at the number 47 overall pick, though, because again, he does have a lot of talents that could potentially shine through at the next level. And for my centers, which has become a pretty important position for the Bucks as we head into the draft, as we head into the offseason. First up is Auburn's Janai Broome, which, granted, I think my two picks, they were usually classified as power forwards, but again, in my opinion, they've both played center at certain stretches, and I think that they would take on more of like the brunt of a role at the center position in the NBA if they were to be drafted and move on to that next level. Anyways, Janai Broome, 6'10", 235, 18.6 points, 10.8 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 2.1 blocks, 51 from the field, 27.8% from three-point range this past season. He led his conference in rebounding and blocks. He's a really strong big guy that's great at just getting inside position down low, whether it's boxing out or just, getting that inside position, calling for the ball, and then bumping and bruising against whoever he's going against in the paint. He's shown flashes of three-point ability, and honestly, he could serve as the Bucks' Brook Lopez replacement if that's what they're targeting in this draft specifically, but that's only if his shot develops a little bit more and he becomes a little more polished on the offensive end. He could be a fantastic floor spacer and shot blocker at the next level, but again, it's all just to do with his development and if he could eventually become a more consistent three-point threat. Again, he's got all the great qualities of a successful and modern big guy, but he's just got to get a little more polished on the offensive end, in my opinion. And then our final center candidate is Kentucky's Amari Williams, 6'10", 227, 10.9 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.2 blocks. He was a two-time CAA Defensive Player of the Year at Drexel, and this past season at Kentucky after transferring, he's shown to be an absolutely dominant defensive big man, incredibly versatile on the defensive end, guarding 1 through 5. He's just incredibly agile, long wingspan, fantastic passer as well. I feel like that is a little bit underrated, or it's an underrated part of his game. Great passer at his position. He can rebound and easily push the ball coast to coast on the break with his own dribble, and he could cap off that break with a great pass to a guy cutting. If the lanes are filled out correctly for this guy on the break, he could easily find the right guy, and it could end up in a dunk. He's just got great passing instinct and skill. Honestly, I am really excited for him. Again, regardless of where he lands, he's just a very intriguing player to me, and I'm just excited to see how he develops at the NBA level. And I think he does have a lot of potential, at least as, like, if he were to hone in on a certain part of his game, obviously he could be a defensive menace in the front court at the NBA level. But it has come time now for my final pick, my final prediction, and that it would be with the 47th overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks will select Villanova's Eric Dixon. There's just way too much upside on the offensive end for Dixon, and he could easily develop into an outstanding defender just based on his body, just how he's built. He could realistically, gain the ability to guard 1 through 5 because of his insane mix of agility and unreal strength at his position, at his height. And his 40% three-point shooting from just this past year is an added bonus, just a cherry on top. He and Giannis could also both set screens for each other. There's just so many possibilities if he were to become a member of the Bucks with the number 47 overall pick, and that's where I'm going. Though the Bucks do need a replacement in the interim and for the long-term future with Dame out and with the guard position kind of up in the air with guys like Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., both free agents and maybe not coming back depending on how other teams value their past seasons that they just had. But Eric Dixon he's at that point, I think he would be the best player available, and you take him 10 times out of 10 if you get to this position, if he's still on the board. And that's just my take, that Eric Dixon will possibly be a member of the Milwaukee Bucks by the end of tonight. And that'll be it for me. Thank you very much for watching Bucks Latest, presented by FanArch. I've been your host, Dean Simon. Again, please consider liking, subscribing, turning on those post notifications to stay up to date and in the know with all the latest Milwaukee Bucks updates. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Bucks.